we're almost at 4 o'clock, so just say welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining us for the scanning pens, and thank you to Jim Bowen, who has just been you've been promoted to the scanning pens rep for the whole of the UK. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes. Thank you, Craig.
Wonderful stuff. Great stuff. And just as a prelude to your presentation, Jim, I have to say that the scanning pens are the single biggest item that we're always loaning out of the loan bank. And demand has outstripped supply. So what we often do now is we just send people to the scanning pens websites to get the 30-day loan there, because it's so I'll hand over to you, Jim, okay? And just to say to everyone again, thanks for joining, and we're recording this session, and then the archive goes onto YouTube. So if you don't want, your video to be on, you might want to switch your video off for just now. And Jim's going to present for about 20 minutes, and then there'll be an opportunity for questions at the end, okay? And feel free to pop any comments into the chat box as Jim's going along. Okay, thanks, Jim. Over to you.
Thanks, Craig, and thank you for the great introduction there. And thank you ever so much for the feedback on the pens. It is something that I receive quite a lot from different people throughout the UK, Scotland, Ireland as well, of people using the pen. So it's great. And thank you ever so much, everybody who's joined today, and your continued support from Cool as well to do these webinars. So thank you ever so much for giving us the opportunity for coming on. So I'm Jim, and as Craig mentioned, I'm now the rep for the whole of the UK of our company. I've worked my way up as well from, starting out as a sales assistant to now this big managerial role. It's been fantastic. And a little bit about myself as well. I'm dyslexic. I've been through the process of trying to get access arrangements through when I was at school. And I done extra time as part of mine. So I really do understand the point of view of some students when it comes to really thinking about what suits them and their needs, and this idea of stigma around people who really don't want to use something and look different. So I'll talk to you about how you can potentially overcome this barrier for anybody in this webinar today who has got some pens and just want a few more ideas. So that really brings me on to kind of the workshop overview today. So I'll just talk to you about our charity organisation as well. You guys cool might be involved in this, but if you're not, please feel free to share out any information and anybody in the webinar today around our charity Succeed with Dyslexia. I'll also talk to you about the pens. We have a new announcement about a new device available. So that's the upgrade from the C Pen Reader to the C Pen Reader 2. So I'll talk to you about this pen and what are the added features on there as well, and how you can get this device. I'll also talk to you about some key features and benefits that really help with personalising the pen to suit certain students' needs. And I'll also talk to you around exams. You can use this pen for the SQA examinations as a reasonable accommodation, but you would need to apply. So I'll talk to you about this. And then the final part will be just me going over how you apply for additional resources. So how can you get these? They're free of charge PDF. I really want to gauge with any of you who wants to talk to me afterwards about how you're using the pens if you are a customer, but also if you've never used them before and how we can help support. So we've done introductions, and the next part is just sharing with you our charity. So our charity is called Succeed with Dyslexia, and you can go on the website succeedwithdyslexia.co.uk. On there, it's stacked full of information to help support people who have dyslexia, or you're just somebody who's interested in learning more. This is a charity and it's open to anybody, any individual from a child to an adult, that you just want to go on and see what is dyslexia, how does it affect people. So this is a great way of doing it, and we're happy to share anything with you and really share any inspiring stories. So this is a completely free charity-based organisation, so feel free to get involved at our website. So for anybody who isn't aware of our pens, and you heard Craig mention probably being one of the most popular tools, our device is a hardware device. So that means it doesn't require Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or a computerized device to use with it. It's completely portable. It's a device used to scan over printed text only and then read aloud to you via headphones. You also get a charging cable within the box if you were to trial one. So you get a set of headphones, you get a charging cable and the device itself. The pen is suitable in many different ways. So the pen, I call it a reading aid, because what the pen is doing is it's helping to support your independence and allow you to do things for yourself. Yes, we want you to read, and yes, the pen will read for you, but it's not designed to read everything for you. We have lots of apps. I'm sure Cool Scotland have lots of information on apps where you can take a photo and have pages and pages read aloud back to you, which is great and really suitable for that student. But what our pens do is give you that independence and give you a chance to do things as much as you can for yourself. So you can scan that odd word, scan that odd line that you may skip out normally, and use the pens for that reading accuracy. The pen has a built-in battery within it. It takes 2 to 3 hours to charge, and you get 8 to 9 hours battery life when using it. So a long time using it and a short time charging. There's a fantastic setting on our pen which is called auto shutdown. What auto shutdown allows you to do is conserve battery life. So after half an hour, it will switch off. However, you can go into your settings and you can select it up to 3 to 4 hours. Obviously, great for in classroom use. You don't want it to just suddenly switch off. So you can go in and change these facilities on there. The headphones, as I mentioned before, what you can do is you can plug in your own headphones, but it can't be Bluetooth ones. It has to be a 3.5mm jack, so just your standard ones that you plug in. You can use over the ear ones, you may prefer that, or earbud ones that we provide in the box. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do with it. The pen does read coloured backgrounds and coloured text as well. So if you're using coloured overlays, there's no problems with that. And the device will read from font sizes 6 point to 24 point. So quite small text to really large text as well, which is great not only for students with reading difficulties, dyslexia, dyspraxia, etc., but also great for visual impairment. So if you are here, if you are supporting students who have visual impairment, this may be potentially a device that they could use for that as well. And then the final thing that I would say on our pens is that it reads majority of fonts. It doesn't like cursive or artistic fonts. However, most fonts in a textbook, it will read aloud to you. And that it's distraction free is one of my main points, because it has those headphones in. You're sat there independently with your device, and it's quite small as well and lightweight. So we designed it really in mind that it's like a pen or a pencil that you use to highlight things. We wanted to make it the norm as much as possible so that you don't look different, and we overcome this barrier of that stigma of looking different. So I've just updated my presentation today, actually, for everybody for this webinar, because we did have our old device on there. So these are the 3 devices that we have available. We have the exam reader, so that's SQA approved. You can use this for your examinations, but you would need to apply as a reasonable accommodation for this. This is more for the secondary level, so less primary, but more for those exams. Whereas the one on the left-hand side, the C Pen Reader, which is now the C Pen Reader 2. So the exam reader has no features on it. This is specifically designed for examination purposes only. Whereas the C Pen Reader 2 has a dictionary on, a dictaphone, and storage facilities. So I'll talk more in depth about those features on my next slide, but I just wanted to speak to you around the differences between those devices. And then the final one is the Lingo Pen. So guys, if you do have additional language students and they're struggling to access the curriculum, for example, and they're reading, the Lingo Pen has 6 languages on. It has French, Spanish, Italian, German, Chinese, Russian, and an Arabic download. And I have heard where people are asking me for Ukrainian. At the moment, we don't have that language. However, the more we're asked, the more we can get it inputted onto the device. So you're probably thinking, wow, okay, the CPEN Reader 2 sounds exciting. So I've built this just to show you kind of what the new features are on the device. So it looks exactly the same as the CPEN Reader. It's just it is different in terms of the features. So the OCR, so that's the technology inside, is now new. It's got additional formats on it. So if any of you has had problems with different fonts, it now scans Comic Sans and other similar fonts that are around that as well. So the technology inside now has been improved to scan further fonts as well, which is fantastic. It also has better recognition, so around the font where it would normally fail around that. So do bear in mind that the pen has more support that way, and it has more kind of ability to save text via the scan to file. So originally the device only had 8 GB storage. I now believe that this is nearly doubled. So you now have 16 GB where you can save more and more text, and we obviously put in more memory onto the device to add more features on. So there will be free features coming out as this pen progresses as well. So the TTS, which stands for text to speech settings, we've improved the languages slightly, so the voices to make them sound even better than they already did. And we have the different voices on there. So guys, we do have a Scottish accent on there. I have had questions, where in Scotland is it from? I don't know, but what I can tell you is the voice is fantastic. So feel free to have a look at that. So this is a great way in which we can really personalize the pen, and it really starts to give the student that access. If you can just see from this picture here, we've also done a new icon-based UI. So we've made, instead of it just being words, we've put icons on there as well. So the reader, dictionary, recorder, and library, you can scroll through that, you can see it and see the icons as well. So that's a new added bonus. And also the other new thing that we've done is we've improved the audio boost on there. So we've made it louder, because a lot of the feedback that we're receiving is even with the headphones in, it was slightly quiet. So we've actually added in a new audio boost setting to make the sound even louder for those students as well. So yeah, this is the Reader Pen 2 and some of its new features. And from last week, you can now go and get a trial of this device as well. And that's our website, which is dedicated to the Reader Pen 2. So I've just provided this as information for you guys, and I will put that in the chat as well for anybody who's interested in just having a look at some of the new features there. So this is the exam reader. This has no features on it. This is specifically just for examination purposes only. So all of that dictionary, dictaphone storage facility, that's completely wiped away. Sorry guys, it's got the JCQ statement, but you can just see here, it does say SQA at the bottom. And theirs basically is a similar statement. However, you have to apply. So it says on there, a text-to-speech facility such as natural dragon speak, you would need to go through the normal processes that you would, and then you could use this device as their reasonable accommodation to apply to use it in exams. So the exam reader. So the exam reader is a great, not only for exams, but for everyday use as well. So it has other languages on it. It has such as Spanish, French, German, and the other languages listed there. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't translate. All this pen does is it reads it back in that language. So if you were to select French, scan over in French, this device would then help with that reading ability, with that pronunciation of those accent languages. So it's great to help support students learning modern foreign languages. Something that I didn't mention that the Reader Pen also has, as well as the exam reader, is some settings that you can personalize. So what I mean by this is the device comes with a settings where you can slow down the voice. So you can go into the speed, and with that you can change the speed from 0 to 5 seconds. So if you have a student with dyslexia, for example, sometimes that comes with slow processing and they struggle with things read aloud quickly to them. They don't take that information in as quick. So what you can do with the speed is you can slow it down as slow as you want. 5 seconds is a bit too slow. I would suggest at around speed 3. And it just really gives you a chance to slow that down and just get that wording, get that sentence for that student to understand the question and answer it to the best of their ability. So that's speed. We also have word pause and punctuation pause. So you can pause between each individual words, and you also have punctuation. So the pen knows what punctuation is. It will pause for commas, full stops, question marks, and it will stop up to 5 seconds. Again, this is great to help to support students as well. One of the final settings that I want to go through with you, well, actually final 2 settings, is auto read and setup wizard, which is called run wizard on the pen. So auto read. You may have noticed when using the pen and you scan over with it, it automatically reads. So this is for customers, but actually for people who don't know the pen as well. But what you can do with our device is you can take auto read off. So you can change it from on to off. Sometimes you want one line read aloud back to you, but actually what sometimes you need is you need the context of that sentence. You want to know, well, it started to read the first line to me. What's going on? So with auto read selected off, this allows you to scan a line, scan the next line, or even a whole paragraph, and then it will start to read the whole paragraph in one go instead of word by word. So this gives you the option to start to capture a chunk of text in one go instead of that word by word or line by line facility. But please, guys, don't forget that this pen is great for those with dyslexia, with that neurodiverse sorry, can't think now, neurodiverse, but also is great for those students who just need the odd word or line for reading accuracy. So the pens really sit kind of in between both of those kind of the spectrum for students. So do think about other students as well who may just need that reassurance and confidence as well. The final thing that I want to go over and features is the run wizard. So like when you first buy a mobile or laptop and you set it up, you have to put your email in, you have to set the language. Well, a similar thing with our pens, you run the wizard that automatically runs as soon as you turn the pen on. It takes you through the auto read, word pause, right and left-handed. So we also have a left-handed mode that you can select, which just flips the screen and allows you to scan if you're left-handed. And you can also scan left to right and right to left when using our pens as well. But with this setup wizard, what this allows you to do is run through the guide of every single useful feature. So it says, do you want auto read on and off? Do you want word pause? And then it just allows you to really understand what these features are. But what's great about the pen is you can go into your settings and click run wizard and do it again. So where I'm coming from is that if you've got a student who really likes auto read off and you've maybe given that pen to somebody else and the settings have been changed, and then you go back to that student and give them the pen, maybe they're doing their practice exams and like, miss, so this doesn't work, like it's not doing what it used to do. That's where you can run that wizard and say to him, John, this is set up for you now. So don't worry about it messing about with any of the features. This is ready for you to go. So that's where the run wizard can be really effective and really help to support. I've spoken to some of you, I imagine, around our survey that went out worldwide. I know Cool Scotland even shared this for us. So thank you for so much, guys. And this was really a survey over lockdown, but I also did another one around reading age score. So the figures that came back was 94% weren't at reader age appropriate levels, which was wow. And also we found out some amazing feedback on how these pens are actually helping. Yes, we knew they're effective, but some of the feedback was just lovely to kind of hear, and I'm happy to share some of this feedback with you, whoever is sat there thinking, oh, these pens would be really useful. So I'm happy to share some of the feedback that we received from our survey as well. One of the final things before I go over to questions is to talk to you about our free guides that we have. Obviously, with any technology, you need training. You need to know how to use it. It's easier with software because you give the license, you give it away, and it's used on a computer. We're always using technology. However, with our pens, it's a slightly different. We're hardware, and you need the training to use these pens. You need to know what works well and what doesn't. So this guide is your Bible, basically. It's a free downloadable resource. It shows you how to hold the pen. It shows you what angle, and it gives you strategies on using it as well. This is great for the teacher, but it's great for students because it's set and laid out so that it's really easy to follow. And we also have on the back some hints and tips for students who may have dyspraxia, for example, like using a reading ruler underneath the line as a guide so you're not scanning 2 lines at once, or maybe you're struggling with reading accuracy with the device. These are questions that come up. So at the back, we do have frequently asked questions. Hopefully that can help to support you as well. We even have a QR code for videos, so unboxing, so you can see the pen being used. I will share this with Craig. You can share this with anybody who's interested at having a look at some live demo videos, if that's okay, Craig. And we also have our diagram. I love this because everything I've spoken about today, you'll go away, you'll sleep, and then you'll say, well, what was, I talked about them pens, and what was that really cool feature that Jim was on about? So this really is there to kind of reassure you that this is how you access these buttons, and this is where they are located on your pen. We have even further resources as well. Go onto our website where you can go and select any of these, and they're free to download. We have ones for exam vigilators. We even have a picture version on how to turn the pen on and what each button on the pen does as well. I love this because I'm all about pictures than I am full of text, because I can't cope with just loads of text, pages of text. So I need pictures to help aid my reading as well. So the final note, and actually I'll go back to one of my slides just before I finish to just cover one more point. Sorry, Craig, 20 minutes, I know. The final point that I want to mention is we do offer free 30-day trials on these pens. So do go ahead and have a look at the trials, and we're happy to send the pen out. We're happy to do another training session with your team to really get as much as the best training and implementation as possible. How the trial works is we send it out, and at the end of the 30 days, you can either send it back or go ahead and purchase directly through us. So honestly, we're happy to kind of support you with whatever trials as well. And then I just wanted to quickly show, so the reader pen, I've spoken about scan to file on it. So scan to file, what else you can do is not only can you save on the hard drive, but you can plug our pen into a computer using the USB, and you can scan text directly from our pen onto the computer screen. So this actually now starts to create that bridge from paper to our pens to then to other computer screen readers as well. We're part of that toolkit approach, just like the guys from Read and Write, and just like the guys Claro Read. We all work together in tangent. We all do different things. So our pens can help to give you that data capturing to upload that text and then start using it on the computer as well. And that's it, guys. Do we have any questions? And thank you, Craig.
Yeah, there's a question actually, and I've got a couple of questions. And please, if anyone does have a question for Jim, pop it into the chat pane. I think I know what the answer to this is, but I'll ask anyway. Kirsten's asking, do you have Scottish Gaelic at all?
Not at the moment, no. Not at the moment, I'm afraid.
But I was thinking that one possible way you could overcome that, it's not the best way, but if you used the scan to text, you text it in, and you could maybe use Scottish Katie voice from the Clo website to read it back in Gaelic. That would be...
That's a great combo, absolutely.
Immediate, but well, folk are maybe writing out questions. Things I was going to ask, do you have any tips for, like, for example, sometimes with younger children, they find it difficult to hold the pen. So I often say, use a ruler, and because they find it difficult getting a straight line. So I'll say maybe use a ruler, and that can help sometimes. Do you have any other tips like that?
I do, yes. Actually, all these tips that I've taken are real life examples that I've seen in school, and I've spoken to students. And this boy, he had severe dyspraxia. And what he said to me, and he gave me 2 tips. The first tip, he says, just think of a pencil grip. And he says, use rubber.
Choose the right people the first time, wouldn't it?
And he says, use rubber bands around the bottom of the pen. And with those rubber bands, it can give you a nice grip to hold it. So he says just take a few rubber bands, use it as a grip at the bottom of the pen, and that can help there. And he also said he used tissue inside his hands with the pen inside, and he says that helped him to hold the pen because he was like using it was like claw. So he says what it did is it helped him to hold it in the correct way.
Rubber bands and tissues, it's high-tech stuff we've got going on here, but
It's
I
just
suppose if it
things
works,
you
why
wouldn't
not?
think of. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, absolutely. And I'm keen to send you a Reader Pen 2, Craig, as well
Oh,
as
that's
for
great.
Cool Scotland to have a look at.
Okay, the other pen is presumably if someone logs onto the site and asks for a request for a 30-day trial, it'll be the Reader Pen 2 they'll get as opposed to
It will now, yeah. So the Reader Pen, if anyone's got them, you can update them still to the latest version, but now it's gone to Reader Pen 2. So if you were to request a trial or purchase, you would be sent that device now.
And what's the process for requesting it, Jim? Is it, do you just fill out the form, or do you have to give any
That's
credit
it,
card
yeah.
details
Shall
or
I put
anything?
it in the chat
Yes, you
box,
could.
shall I? The
Yeah,
website, because they can
Rich.
directly just come to me as well.
Okay, well, while you're doing it, Rich has put his hand up. So if you want to
Please
put
do.
your mic on, Rich, and ask the question, feel
Yeah,
free
please
to do
do.
so.
Hello, I think that's me. For some reason, I can't open the chat box. I can't see the chat box. I've had to raise
That's okay.
my hand. We purchased 3 pen readers it would be in May of this year. So would they have been an older version? When did the number 2 reader?
Last week.
Last week. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Is that the white ones that you've got, or have you got the orange?
No, they're white. It's primary age pupils that are using them.
I'd suggest getting the 30-day trial. You can still do that. It doesn't matter just because you've purchased, just to see the differences as well.
Yeah, I don't think we've not got any budget to buy anymore. It wouldn't be that's our budget gone with the 3 that we've
Okay.
bought. So there's not an update. I just
there is an update. Yeah, you can get the latest update, but it wouldn't be to the Reader Pen 2 standard. But there's still a latest update on there as well. Yes.
So how do you do the update?
Yeah, I'll pop that all into the chat now.
Yeah, I can't see a chat box.
Oh, okay.
Will there be like your slides? Will they be emailed out after the?
I can send them. Yeah, that's on the website. Yeah. Yeah, I can send that.
Thank you.
I can pop your. Oh no, I was going to pop it into the chat, but you can't see the chat. So
yeah.
I don't know why I can't see the chat.
Yeah.
I can see everything else. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks. There's another question as well. Could you just check? Can you use the Reader Pen 2 in exams, or only the exam pen? So
yeah, of course. Great question. Yeah. The Reader Pen can be used for internal exams. So say they're not governed by an exam board. So I always say this because you can do something called the exam lock, which turns it into the exam pen. However, that's not official for like exams that are governed by the board. So no, you'd have to use the exam pen for official exams. However, if you're doing internal exams, yes, you can use the Reader Pen.
Okay, Kirsten's just posted, and it's I guess it just can't be helped, but they had a trial one and they purchased a couple at the beginning. Of course, now they've got the old ones and they would like to have the new ones, but pupils are loving them, so that's great for the
yeah.
And we also have Ms. Skirving saying that pupils. I have pupils who have hearing impairments and use radio systems to connect to their hearing aids. They can connect with devices with either jack or micro USB.
Correct.
Could their pen use the radio system instead of the headphones?
No, it'd have to be the headphones. Yeah, it'd have to be the headphones. Unfortunately, I know what he's. I know what he's talking about. Yeah.
Have you had that before? Have you, Jim?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Because we're in we're in hearing impairment school as well. Some here in the UK, so I know that you can plug them into the latches. Oh, I forgot what they're called now, but yes, you can. Yeah, but you can't do it from radio. It'd have to be plug in.
Okay. Yeah, there wasn't a way to daisy them on, but with the jacks from one to another. No. Okay, that would be a great. That would be great to have that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's all the questions so far. If anyone has anything else, or you like to say something, pop your hand up and have a chat.
30
If
people,
not-
that's great as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And congratulations on your rise to world dominance.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you'll see
Okay.
more of me.
Tony saying thanks, Sharon,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for popping along today. And thanks to Jim. Kirsten's just saying, come to, are very helpful with any queries, which is your question. That's good, because a lot of companies these days, it's difficult to get any support, but scanning pens, a good one for scanning pens there.
No,
So
thank you ever so
thanks.
much. I'll pass on that feedback to the
Yeah.
guys, because they do work hard in operations. So I'll pass that over to them as well.
Yeah, and I take it your email address will be in the presentation, so if folk want to get in contact with you.
Absolutely, yeah. Please
Okay,
feel free,
okay.
whatever question you have, to get in touch with me directly, and I'll answer your query directly.
Okay, my colleague Robert will be sending out the presentation and the links and everything in the next, probably tomorrow or some stage, so everyone gets a copy of it. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you ever
Jim.
so much.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Have a nice
Craig.
evening.
Thank you.